Well, hey, how you doing? This is Harold, and I'm over here at Papa Bear Pepper's channel, and I wasn't gonna do a video again tonight, but I got to mess around. We took down all of our Christmas stuff out there. I mean, the house is loaded. I got to load all that out into the shed where we keep it all, and but I was messing around here, and I want to show you some. I was talking about some devices earlier, and this is more of a tech tip to all of you out there. That if you remember right, I was telling you about the timers, right? Old-fashioned timer, and yes, you can still use these. And also, this here, if you've never seen it, this is a kilowatt reader, and essentially what you do is you plug this into the wall, and it'll give you a reading of how much volts are coming into the unit, and then how much is coming out when you plug in your device here. And a lot of times what I do, I want to know how many volts my light is running, and just so you know, when I was talking about readings for that light earlier, this is how I was doing that. This is plugged into the outlet, and then this plugs into it, so I can get a reading, and it tells me how many kilowatts an hour I'm using, what my total kilowatts is. I mean, so it's a really good device, but you see how bulky that is when you get all that plugged in, and then you gotta add on top of that, to get it out away from the wall, you end up, if you're using your other switch like I do on mine, then I end up doing this, and then I got this whole thing coming off the wall, off of my socket. Or you can do some in these, and I've got it up on the screen behind me here. This here little thing is called a sync wire, but basically what it is, it's a smart plug. And this plug here, essentially what you do is, once you get it all set up, and it took me literally, I'll bet it took me 10 minutes to get this online, get it connected to my phone, of which I'm recording right now. And you download the app, and for this one, it's Smart Life is the app that you're using to put this one on. And then I have control over this and this one. Now, I got this one on eBay, and they were bidding them, and if you look out there, you're going to find them. You don't necessarily need a double. However, I've got two of these, and this is how I bought it. I got a deal I was bidding on, and I got two of them for 16 bucks, 16.50 or something like that. Two of these smart outlets. So you can see I got one plug in the back, and it makes my single plug two plugs. And so down here on my setup now, and I'll show you that up here just so you can see it. I've got my computer hooked up to the big monitor, but that'll give you an idea of what I'm looking at there. And the reason, I'm going to come back to that one here in a minute, but both this light here and my seed mat down here are both connected into one of these. And you may ask why. Well, you don't, and here's the thing is, these are smart, and meaning you can use Alexa to talk to it, or Google, the Google app that does the same thing, and have Google do it. It doesn't have to be, you don't even have to have an Echo Dot. You don't have to have an Echo or an Alexa, one of the Alexa devices at all, because my phone also has downloaded the Alexa, so I can use it there. Now that makes it easy. And what it does is it links to the Smart Life app that I have on my phone. Now here's the other thing that I didn't know, okay? Yes, you can tell it to shut off and turn on, right? Or you can use your phone, open up your Smart Life app and mash the button for on and off and control it. And that's really cool. So with this one, you can also set a schedule. So instead of this timer and all of this crap I've got on here, I put that in my wall. I set my timer for, I want the lights to come on. I've got it set right now for 6 a.m. in the morning. All right. And as you can see, things are shut down here. And what I did, so 6 a.m. in the morning on plug 2. Plug 1 is a different app altogether. Okay, so on plug 1, and you can also manually shut them off. These two buttons right here will also control them, shut one or the other off if you want, or turn them on. So it does give you that feature too, if you're out of line of the internet. So I went on my phone and I set it up for 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I set it up. The timer that's built into the app, I set it up for 8 p.m. at night to shut off. Now I can change that. I can go in there and change it, like, yeah, maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want it to go to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. before it shuts off. And in fact, a little trick I'm doing is with my seedling mat on the other side, I have it plugged in, right? And at 1 a.m. in the morning, the seedling mat is going to shut off. And then at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's going to turn back on. That's kind of my little experiment, but I have that control with this smart app that I can do that. And what I'm assuming is that I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to shut the seedling mat off for 2 hours. And what that's going to do is kind of emulate a nighttime scenario to the seeds. And what my thought, or my thought process is that in nature, you have nighttime and you have daytime. Nighttime is inherently cooler than daytime. So what it's going to do is, instead of running constant, and this is just something that I'm experimenting with, and I told you all out there that I do that. I do it a lot. And I'm going to do it with this because I have the control that I'm going to emulate it being nighttime. And then at 3 a.m. it's going to kick on. Then at 5 a.m. the lights are going to kick on. Or yeah, 5 a.m. I think I set it for. I don't have to do anything. The only thing I have to do is watch my seeds and make sure that the soil doesn't dry out. My lights, I can set my mat for back to a 24-hour operation and remove that altogether. But the last thing that I wanted, and this is something that I found out when I looked up on the site up here, and let me run through this real quick. I'm going to take you off, and I want to show you the last thing that I learned is that on here is the and I'm going to take you right up here so you can see it. The last thing that I found out, like, I knew I could do this, and here's the double plug, and then it right here, this screen. Now if you look right here, that little button there, on when I go onto my phone, that is a voltage quantity manager or management tool. So what this is doing is, you remember I showed you my big cluster, this big thing right here. I'm trying to do this with one hand. That big thing on there that I told you I was reading the volts with, the amperage, and you know how many volts are coming out of the wall versus how many kilowatts it uses. All of that is now available with that one little switch, and I can come right on here, and all I have to do is I hit that button, and it monitors not only how many kilowatts an hour it's using, but how many it's using in a month. Okay, And I can come down here and I can change the name of the light switches to whatever I want them. And I've called it on my phone Grow Light. The other thing I can do is when this phone app is up is I can come up here and shut them all off with this button. Or I can shut one of them off with that or the other one. Okay, that I did not know is that voltage management meter in there is awesome. Because you know what? That just eliminated. So let's talk about this. I spent 16 bucks for 2 of them. And you can get single ones out there and they're not much. The wall plug. But this is, I'm not getting, you know, I bought these, so I'm not getting any money for what I'm telling you guys, but I can tell you right now that this little device right here that I had picked up last year, that's about, I want to say it was like $27 to get that thing. But I wanted to track what I was using, like via the heater in my greenhouse versus the light. And I'm going to put you back up here so I don't make you go. I'm going to finish this. But it was, I bought that thing to do everything. Now here's the other thing that you can do is like, I showed you that. It's got a timing feature, which I told you about. And it also allows you to set that thing up. So there's a number of devices you can use on it. And that being what I'm looking at. It came in a 2-pack. It came in a 2-pack deal, and it allows me to control now 4 devices with just 2 plugs. So I wanted to show that with you, share it, because that was pretty cool that I figured that out tonight, and I didn't actually realize that when I bought it. Did I know it was a smart device? Yeah, I did. I mean, I read that, and that's what I wanted, is something that I could tell to turn off or tell to turn on and set a schedule for. So when I put the 2 of them on a single outlet, I've turned essentially 1 into 2 and have complete control over that whole system that I'm running here. And so I just want to share that with you guys out there, and I highly recommend. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be any of them that you can get on Amazon or eBay or wherever you want to find them. Whether I don't see them a lot of hardware stores. So I would recommend that you're going to have to go onto either eBay or on Amazon and find the smart outlets. Go out there and go smart plugs as your search, and go on there and look through them and you can find, if you want to run everything off of one of these things, I'll say you can get them like this. They basically look like that. And you can get a single way outlet and they're only like $5 or $10. But imagine that now when you plug in your devices, maybe you run that into a strip, whatever you're doing, you have control over when the power is going to get there and how it's going to get there. Good thing about having 2 of them is you can plug your seat mat in and run it 24/7, doesn't matter. But having control of your lights and the ability to shut it off or turn it on, there's also something that's built into it, that it has another thing that you can turn on a warning when the light goes out, and it'll message you back and say, yeah, I have no transmission of a signal, or I lost power, basically what it's telling you, and it'll send a warning to your phone or to whatever app to let you know the lights aren't on. You better do something about it because we lost power out here, wherever power's coming. That's another good feature to have. How many times have you... I can tell you that one thing that's happened to me is losing power out to my my grow shed. I have basically it's a 8x10, 8x12 shed out there that I have set up for growing. You know, it's to get my pepper seedlings started, and I finished peppers out there, but it's basically where I put all my gardening stuff, and I grow my seedlings so that once I get out of here, this year I'm using in here. Why? I got heat that I already have to have for the house. That's one less cost. And I run a 1500 watt heater out there. That can get expensive. However, I'm working on something for that too, and it's called thermal mass. And that's going to be another episode. But what I just wanted to bring to you tonight was this. And they have many different smart plugs. You go online and you can find them. I highly recommend that you start getting rid of all of this stuff right here, all of this. You tell me what you want to plug into the wall. There's one outlet. It goes to this, that goes to this, and all of that's manual. Or you can plug this into the wall, and you can be anywhere that you have Wi-Fi capability, or you're connected to your Wi-Fi in the house, anywhere. And you can control this. I can be anywhere outside of here as long as I have my Wi-Fi running in the house. It goes and it sends the signal out to these, and I have ultimate control over them. And right now, even better is that they're on the timer. How much easier to get to put something like this on there and then see everything that it's doing on your phone, including how many watts are coming, how many true watts your light's putting out. Yeah, that's a great item to have. And yes, I know there's probably people out there, I've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of us that haven't. And I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning. But I highly recommend it to you that it's time to get your technology. If you already have a phone, a smartphone, you might as well make your grow smart too. And save yourself tons and tons and tons of time, effort, money. Because if I can read how much my lights are putting out, or maybe how much a heater's actually putting out, and I can look on my app and see how many watts, kilowatts per hour that my equipment has used, and go and make adjustments. That to me is big, and it's actually making me going to make adjustment to my older 300 watt grow light, and I'm thinking about upgrading to a 1000 watt that doesn't use fans, but it only uses, and it's rated, I've been doing some research on them, and it's rated to use only 100 watts. That to me, that's like using 260 watt light bulbs in your house, the incandescent light bulbs. That's not very much for 1000 watts of, and it puts out like 2.7 nms, which deals with your light, your how much light that is being emitted, and that your plants will absorb. It's good light. It's the good. And you know, like I said though, no matter what LED light you use, I highly recommend that you use your full spectrum. That's just me. Maybe somebody's out there still using the blurple, which, hey, you know what? You get what you can afford, and there's some lights out there you can buy, but the newer ones that are using quantum boards, you can get the lower end ones from Mars, and there's a couple other ones that are out there. Spider Gardener, that's a good one at the 1000 watters, and then there's one other one that I'm kind of looking at too. That's another, essentially a quantum board. It's what was it, Photo Sun or something like that, but and those run anywhere from $80 to $150. However, if I'm going to use an LED light over and over and over and over and over again, and they don't have any fans, all three of those type that I'm telling you about, you know what, I can bring it up here and show them to you, which is actually easier, isn't it? If I just bring them up here. And I'll do this. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to turn my back, but I want to show you this. So if I come up here and go, let's go to the all elusive. What are we looking for? Let's go to. I thought I would have had it up here. Anyway, you can come up in here and look at them, and I can bring them up. Photo Sun, I think it is. Let's go back to eBay. I can look at my searches, and I can tell you which one I'm looking for. Let's just do Amazon. And this is just kind of help you along. I am an Amazon Prime member, so recently viewed. If you can see this, let me go ahead and I'm going to direct you up a little bit now to my Amazon board here. So, let me get you out of this. You got, this is one of them. This is the Mars. This is a 600 watt Mars, and it's a the passive type of light, but that's a 600 watt, and that's one that you could easily probably do if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and easier just to put in the oops. I'm just doing this for giggles. Going into the 1000 watt LED grow light, and let me show you the three that two are on here for sure. So here's the Mars right here. Like I said, this one here is your Mars. That's a 600 watt, and here's a 1000 watt over here. And like I said, that 1000 watt that you see right here is a nice one. And if you are looking at I'll be honest, if you're looking at a light, if they can't tell you, like if you look over here and you see this is telling you at a height of 18 inches, this is what our spectrum is, from 18 inches. If a seller is trying to sell you a light and won't give you this information that you're seeing right here, let me do this one, and tells you, it won't tell you all this kind of information that you see here, it's probably a light that you need to move on by, because they're not legitimate. They're not there to give you the best light that your money can buy. And this one here, this particular light here is $139. And does it seem a little pricey? Yeah, it might, but you're going to get out of it what you put into it. Now there's another one here that I want to show you, and this is a better example. Spider Farmer is another light here that is a really good one. And if you'll notice here, the one thing that they use here is they use the Samsung bulbs, and I'm sure, hopefully you can see what I'm looking at right here. they come right out and they do the same thing. Spider Farmer is a very good light. Now, you'll see on this one, you'll see up here, there's no fans. It's mounted right to the back of the board. And by doing that, when you mount it to the back of the board like that, you don't have any fans. It's a lot lighter and it runs cooler because these are using quantum boards, which are the newest thing in LEDs. It just allows much more. And again, there's another one that's giving you exactly what the light's going to do. They're not trying to, they're giving you everything. They're telling you what your grid spacing is, your reflective walls, your PARs, what's your efficiency rating, your look at this, full sunlight, full spectrum, zero noise, and also a lot less power because you don't have a fan. No glue over the covers. So I mean, there's so much to these. And the only other one that I've seen now, I've shown you those two that are really great lights for your money. And now there's another one that I'm looking at and I'm very interested in, if I can find it. And really, it's a good price. And here it is, the Leno Focus. So I've showed you the Spider Farmer. Now here's another quantum board here. However, the price is a lot less than those other two. You're talking about $78. And again, they're going to go through here and when a company believes in their light, they're going to tell you this. So this is an LF100 grow light, and it's going to tell you, as you can see here, how far that's good out to. And trust me, a lot of them are going, here it tells you your lights, your spectrum, and then comes down here and tells you some other information on it. But I mean, for a light to come out and do this and explain it to you, that means they believe in it. They believe in what they're selling you, and it's proven what they're doing and how that light works. So there's three lights that you're going to look at, and those particular type of lights run such a low, actually run lower on those quantum boards than these older LED lights run. So, well, there's a couple tech tips for you tonight, and I just want to show those with you, and I hope you all have a great night. Hey, this is Harold with Papa Bear Pepper's channel, and I'm signing out, and I hope I helped you along the way, and I hope that you can pass this on and make your growth successful.